I'm Julie.
And I'm Des.
And we're the Gals. Real life, real talk from real women.
So grab your coffee
and let's chat. Everybody, welcome to the Gals podcast.
Welcome back. It's been a good week.
It has been a good week.
Well, kind of crazy for you because
Tired.
you've had to get up at like 4:30 every morning this week.
Every single morning. We launched a new computer system at work, and my boss and I are, and my friend Samantha are the head people. And so we have worked insane hours.
Long hours.
I think I've worked like 70 hours-ish, maybe give or take a few, just this week.
Which is more than I'll work in a month.
Yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
Actually, being a mom is a full-time gig. So,
you're right.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's never
a bunch
ending.
of jobs wrapped up into one.
And you have 3 girls, and you have a household to run and a crazy husband.
We're trying to keep the schedule intact, but everything has just gone haywire. So I downloaded this app to try to get everybody in the same thing, and I'm like, please download the app.
What's the app?
It's like Family Calendar or something, and you can just add people to your family.
That's
and you
awesome.
You can have like your own calendar, but then you can send them the ones that you want them to know. So I've been trying to get them to use it. It has not been successful.
It's funny that people like us are very calendar schedule oriented, and getting other people to do that.
You can't.
Yeah, it's like pulling teeth.
Tori's like, I'm sorry, I never even opened that app. Okay. Not helpful. So because of that week, I'm going to tell you what I'm drinking today.
She's got 2 drinks, ladies and gentlemen. Not 1, but 2.
2 drinks. This morning I said I cannot be fulfilled with one. So I have a PSL with some adjustments.
And PSL, by the way, I don't think we announced this, is
we did?
pumpkin spice latte.
Unless you're living under a rock. Because
Yes.
I feel like a lot of time, there's a lot of, signs for PSL in the world. But it's going to go away soon. So, get it while you can. Yep. I take the sweetener down to half. Because I don't like my coffee to be really sweet.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I'm always like, whatever that is, make it half of that. And then I got soy and no whip because I don't do the dairy. But then I also got a apple spice drink.
Caramel apple spice.
And you know what?
Best.
I haven't had this in so long. But last weekend when we did that show and I had that hot cider, which, by the way, was amazing. I hate to say it, but better than the Starbucks one.
It was really good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
I almost want to go there just
for that. Did we talk about Emmaus Road Cafe?
No, we didn't.
On the
so
podcast?
Let's do that. Wait, tell me what you're drinking, and then we'll jump into it.
Oh, same thing as I always get. I don't know why. I just feel bad deviating from the soy vanilla latte, but I've been adding a shot.
Oh.
I hate watery coffee.
Agreed.
I can't do it.
Why do some coffee places feel like they just have to measure it and do like this minimal amount of coffee? Like if I want coffee, I want it to taste like coffee.
I don't want to taste the cream.
Coffee is the word I'm going to use. But I want it to have like that punch to it. Like, ooh, this is coffee.
Kick me in the teeth.
Kick me in the teeth.
Slap me in the face.
That's the kind of coffee. That's our name for it. So if we have a coffee company someday we're going to call it Kick Me in the Teeth.
Gals Coffee.
Hashtag Kick Me in the Teeth.
That'll be our slogan.
And it will
Kicking the teeth coffee. Better than Starbucks. So let's recap Halloween.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
We did. I was exhausted. And I honestly we didn't trick-or-treat that long. Harper was pretty chill. She did a couple houses. We did a couple streets. And then she was like, I'm good. Bye.
Tristan kept asking me, he's like, well, can we go home? Can we go home?
I think it was
really?
It was dark and kind of rainy.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
But it was fine. Tori was dressed up as Rapunzel.
Oh, that's precious.
Super
We should
cute.
post some pictures.
We should post some pictures.
Yeah, on the Gals
and
podcast.
Her boyfriend was the Pope. He didn't have a costume, so Brock
that's right. I saw
pulled
that.
one out from his many costumes that he has.
That's hilarious.
Brock was a vampire.
Nice. Classic.
He went to school like that, too. So the kids were like kind of scared of him, but also intrigued by his vampire look. And Harper was a clown, which I hate them.
Julie hates clowns.
I hate them. And I mean it. I hate them.
I don't have a hatred for them. I just don't like them. I don't like the movie It and how it eats the children.
Right.
And
why we got to talk about stuff like us talk about it, but I mean, why do we got to do that in our society?
What in your brain developed that and thought that was a good idea?
And that is the other thing that freaks me out. That's why I watch things like Criminal Mind, because I'm like, what makes these people do this.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
What is your problem?
Lily was a gangsta, as far as I know.
Okay.
She had like a little gangsta wear. I don't know. She was with her friends. It was her first time trick-or-treating with her friends, which was very painful for me to let her do that because I'm a control freak and I like to know where everyone is. And luckily we have locations that we share on an app.
Yeah, that's always good.
So I can see where people are. And I think that's helpful for me too. Like in case they need to know where I am and they don't check the family calendar, they can look at the address location.
Yeah, that is scary, especially with everything going on right now.
And it also tells you if someone needs to charge their phone.
Oh,
so it'll be like, Lily has 6% battery. Tell her to charge her phone. So it tells you. My parents are on there too, so I can keep track of them.
That's hilarious. I used to do that, but my mom hated that. I used to see her little car driving to the other location or to ShopRite or back home.
Where you going?
It's kind of creepy when you think about it.
It's like a go-to. So Julie's over in Gloucester Township. She's definitely a Target.
So my husband was like, you know it's going to rain on Halloween? I'm like, so? And?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're going to take Tristan out. And I said, yeah.
Of course.
I'm more excited about this than Tristan is.
I know. I liked your attire.
My Batgirl,
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I wore in black.
Cute.
Thank
it
you.
Worked for you, though.
And my hair was like all kinds of
I was
messy.
just exhausted Julie. That was my costume. It kind of looked like my regular face.
That's hilarious.
That was it. We had fun though. It was fine. They carved pumpkins the day before. It was cute.
Now, what candies can you eat?
Well, I'm not. Yeah, gluten free is easier because like I can't have Kit Kats. Anything with like a cookie involved,
right.
Twix,
Any kind of breading,
anything like that is a no. But so I have a dairy allergy, so I do push the limit with the candy though. I'll be like,
That's hard
if I
not to
eat
do.
this, I'll only feel kind of yucky. But if I eat 2 of these, I'm going to feel really yucky. So I try because Snickers bars are like so good, and they just stare at you.
Favorite.
And then right
That's
now
so
is the
funny.
Reese. It was a Reese pumpkin. But yesterday it was a Reese tree.
Oh.
They brought them suckers straight
I didn't
out.
get any Reese's pumpkins. I got the Butterfinger peanut butter cup or whatever. It was so good.
So good.
So good. But anyway, back to the rain. So it triggered a memory of when we were in Iceland for 2 years. My dad was stationed there because he was in the Navy. He's retired since. And I was about 6 or 7 years old, and a huge snowstorm came through on Halloween. And my mom was a trooper. Strong woman she is. She probably wouldn't do it this day because she's 7 years old and she's, doesn't want to be driving around the snow.
Totally.
But it was a few inches. And she took her 4-wheel drive Jeep and drove me around.
She powered through.
I don't know where my dad was. And I was in my little pink Power Ranger suit. And she drove me to apartment, and I got my candy. So when he said it was going to rain, I'm like, you are a wimp.
It was weird, too. So it rained, but it was like 71 degrees.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, it's kind of warm, but we're getting rained on.
I didn't know what to think about it.
Yeah, and it was the kind of rain, as my friend says, the soaker kind, because it's the mist. So like the never-ending mist. Like the raindrops,
so
you can
annoying.
like kind of avoid it, but the mist is like you're getting soaked. It doesn't matter if it's a little or a lot.
And your hair is just
forget it.
Has a different
if you
life.
had a blow dry today, for me, you have curly hair immediately. So forget about it. Your blow dry's gone.
You're exhausted and your hair's like poof.
Exactly. That's why I decided to wear a hat today. Just trying to.
The hat is cute.
I love a good hat. Shout out to Elevation for that hat.
Elevation Worship?
Mm-hmm.
Did you just buy it online?
Concert.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people listening to our podcast.
So
Thank you.
many people are.
Isn't it weird, though? Julie and I were talking about this off air about how weird it is for people to kind of quote us or just know certain facts about us and come up to us and be like, oh, that's your favorite meal or whatever. But tell your story.
So... Well, first, I was yesterday or the day before. I can't even remember because my days are smushed. But I was at my front desk, like just shuffling around, kind of trying to get things done with this computer system. And one of my friends from work came up to me and he was like, "You trick-or-treated in a van?" And because I was so out of sorts, I couldn't like put 2 and 2 together. I looked at him, I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You trick-or-treated." Like, if you could have seen it. He's like, "You trick-or-treated in a van?" And then I was like, Yes, I did trick-or-treat in a van.
Oh, you listened to the podcast.
"Oh, you listened to the podcast?" And he's like, "Yep." And I was just kind of taken back.
That was our
shocked.
last podcast. That was number 6.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and
that's awesome.
I have multiple people that come up to me and they're like, just so you know, you guys are so great and we really connect and I just love listening to you. And I think that's so cool because it started off as I was talking to Des. I could just cry about it because it was started off as this like idea, little tiny eeny weeny idea. And we were like, hey, let's do a podcast and just see what happens. And I mean, God honestly has showed us time and time again, even through these little comments, that this is definitely what we should be doing and that this is a ministry that he has called for us. And I think it's so cool that we get to hear those stories.
And it was so cool because you and I walked in here tired and just had a busy week. You probably had a much busier week than I did. We had no idea what we were going to talk about.
No.
And then we were just talking before we went on air and all these ideas just started to come out. Like we had nothing.
We had nothing.
We came in here
even this
empty.
morning I was like, should we even do this? Like,
we were going to cancel.
Hi,
I didn't have a car for a half hour.
We weren't even sure if she was going to get here or what time we were going to do this. And God just made it happen in a span of 10 minutes. I swear.
Yeah,
it's
really
just so
quick.
cool how
really,
God
really
does
quick.
that. And I also was at Starbucks on my way here.
Yes, tell that story. That was good too.
And I got a phone call from a random phone number. And I was like, I never really answer random calls just because people, you're always getting hacked or whatever.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I was like, okay, I'll answer it. And I said, hello. And she was like, hi, Julie. I was like, oh, shoot. Who knows who this is? And she was like, this is Julie. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, hi, Julie.
From
so
work.
she's a member at my work.
Yeah.
And she has 2 kids, Jackson and Darcy. I believe they're 16 and 18. Or 16 and 19, somewhere like that. They have something called Angelman syndrome, which affects most of their life. They're very low with speech. They have a couple words that they say, but they kind of use sign language. They speak their own language. They're just like, if you look it up, there's just a lot of things that come with that. And she is stellar. Those kids, she does not hold them back. They do everything. They go everywhere. They do everything. They are participants in every single thing she can possibly get them into. And they are just so loved at my job, but also wherever they are. And so Jackson is a teenager, and he gets a little bit of an attitude. And every once in a while I talk to her, and she's like, Jackson is being such a jerk this week. Like, he's just being so difficult. He's being such a teenager. And
he's not an angel.
He's not.
No,
and so we talk about it. But when she called me today, I did not expect a phone call from her. I don't think we've ever talked on the phone. And she said, I'm so sorry to call you, but I had to tell you. So I've been listening to your podcast. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she goes, and I have been so angry at God lately. So angry because I feel like he's not listening to me. So angry because I feel like he's not answering the prayers I want him to ask, which I think we should dial back to. And, just frustrated. All in all, just irritated with God. And I said, it's okay to be like that. He's not surprised, and he sees that with you, and he still loves you. Obviously, it's not going to change, but I think being honest with God is so important, And she was saying to me that, a couple weeks ago, there was this crazy windstorm, and she was outside with Jackson. Jackson was at their picnic table, their glass picnic table, and he was like coloring or doing something at the picnic table. And someone said, "Oh, it's really windy." And she had a thought. She said, "Oh, I better move these chairs and I better go inside. Like it doesn't look great out." So she picked up some chairs and she moved them aside, and she called Jackson to come over so he could go in. And right after she moved him or asked him to come in, a 200-pound umbrella flew from across the yard and shattered her glass table where he was sitting. She said that glass went everywhere and that they were not touched by it. Like the wind blew the glass everywhere. And she said if it was just 1 second longer, Jackson would have still been sitting at that table. And she said in that moment she realized that God is present and that he is watching out for Jackson, watching out for her, watching out for Darcy, their family, and just knowing that she is being heard. It may not be exactly what she wants or what she is hoping for.
Sorry to interrupt you, but did she say what her prayer was that's not being answered?
She did not say, which I think I would love to know how we can pray for her for sure. But I think Jackson has been a little bit more difficult, as I said, and he's had a lot of seizures lately. So I feel like maybe that has something to do with it. But she said that in that moment she knew